Hello and welcome to the British Soap Awards 2025 with me, Ree, and him, Rob.
Hello, greetings EastEnders fans. So I am currently at Grantham Station waiting for my train to London King's Cross. Ree should be on the train behind me, so all being well, we should be arriving into London on time. We're going to the Soap Awards!
And fortunately my train was completely on time and I was soon zooming through the countryside towards that London.
I see a Ree! I see a Ree! I mean, just come through the gap, Ree. There's a gap there. Just walk through that, Ree. Lesser following the rules. What are you saying? Alright, mate. Greetings, EastEnders fans! We're together. This is so exciting.
It's been so long.
I know. How was your trip?
All right.
All right?
Yeah, go on then. Talk about yours.
I got to be upgraded to first class because there were some piss heads in my seat.
This guy.
Frankly, I think it suited me.
Yeah, well, you know what? If the cap fits, which clearly it does for Rob.
Clearly it does.
Unlike this peasant from Sheffield
That's
who
it.
had to sit next to somebody.
You know what it was? It was my smug face. They realised that I needed
They're
upgrading.
like, oh, who's he?
Yeah.
Oh, Snail.
He looks
First
smug.
class.
First class. Right, so we are just waiting for an Uber to take us to the accommodation.
You're very confident doing this at middle of the street,
Oh, I
Rob.
don't
I
care.
think I need to...
Yeah, you
need a drink.
need to get more in London fashion. But we're going to get a drink, we're going to get to the accommodation, we're going to get changed into our sexy outfits.
What do you mean? Wearing one?
That's it, yeah, she looks fit. And then we'll have a drink and then we'll be on our way to the Soap Awards! So, Albert Square after dark on location. We are in London. We are, this is exciting, isn't it? So we are just on our way to the accommodation now, and then we'll be getting changed. Ree, how are you feeling?
Right hot.
Right
really
hot.
hot. It's really hot down south. We've only come a couple of hours on the train and it's like a different country.
I know, it was really cold when we got on the train,
Isn't
but
it?
here we are so excited. Okay, so we're at the accommodation. Looks alright.
Alright, wait till you get inside, mate.
Oh.
I sorted this part, by the way. Oh, in fact, I shouldn't be taking credit for sticking it. It's really good.
In case it's rubbish.
But rubbish it was not. Fair play, Ree, you didn't do bad here. And once I'd climbed into this quite frankly ridiculous shower, it was time for the outfits. Try and control yourself, folks.
I am
Look
so
at
excited.
us. Yeah?
We are
like
sorry,
proper.
we're
Sorry,
so you know what? We didn't. I know we did look quite glam when we graduated, actually.
Fairly.
Didn't
Not
we?
as glam as this, though.
No, this
This
is
is
actually
glam for us.
there is glam.
Yeah,
okay?
this is adult glam.
Adult
this is
glam,
this is
grown
not
up
bad.
glam.
This
What
is
do you
not
think?
bad. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. But be kind, yeah? Be kind.
So
You look stunning, by the way.
Oh,
you look really,
thank
really
you.
nice.
So do you, Rob.
Thanks.
Look at Rob's suit. Hugo Boss.
Half
on
price,
us,
mate,
by the
half
way.
price.
Influencers here. Hashtag sponsor us. Anyway, are you excited to go to
I'm
the town hall?
so excited. We might meet people.
We are going to meet people.
Might meet people. So hi, this is us at the back of our Ubers on the way to the Soap Awards. Who do we think we are right now, Ree? Honest to God.
Podcasters.
Podcasters, that's who we think we are.
Seriously, by the way. Look, we've got little mics and everything.
We have got little mics. Look at this. How professional are we? Don't even need to. It's a clip-on mic. This is what the TV stars do. So professional. Right, so where are we on our way to now?
We're on our way to Hackney Town Hall.
Hackney Town
which
Hall.
is where everybody enters first.
Yes.
And everybody has the pictures.
We are.
And you can meet them, which we're hoping is going to happen.
Yeah,
and
we're
we've not
really late.
I was going to say, We might have stopped at the hotel bar for a
We
drink.
had a drink.
We like to drink with Ree because Ree is our mate, and when we drink with Ree, she drinks it down in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Can't do it like that
You
anymore.
have lost it, mate.
I know
Honest
I
to
have.
God. This woman used to be able to do 5 pints in 8 seconds before.
And then
All right.
gone, oh yeah, we
We should
get
probably
going,
go.
really,
Probably
yeah.
go. So that's why we're now in the back
That's
of an
why
Uber.
we're here.
Yeah. So we're now in the back of an Uber. We're off to the Hackney Town Hall, where we hope to meet people. And then after that, it's the actual event.
And this modest setting was about to be packed with soap stars.
So we are in Pizza Express, across the road from the theatre. The theatre is literally just over there through the window. We're going across there when we finish this, but we needed something to eat. So we've seen famous people, really. We've actually seen, it was a bit, we weren't quite close enough to actually get to meet anybody, sadly.
We could have if we'd have
If we'd
shouted.
pushed our way through, like some people did, we have seen some stunning people. They look incredible. Seeing people from the telly is the weirdest thing in the world. It's so weird. Like, how long must it have taken them to get ready?
A long time.
Like, so long, I imagine. So long. But they look stunning. We saw loads of people from EastEnders. We saw people from Coronation Street. Actual people. I saw Jack P. Shepherd.
I know.
He's just won Celebrity Big
Big
Brother.
Brother winner.
Yeah. Mad. Absolutely mad. So, in about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to go and across to the Empire Theatre, and we're going to actually watch the Soap Wars. And then we're going to see Jane McDonald in real life as well.
We're so excited, and we're going to see who's won it.
Yeah, our day is far from over, people.
Totally not allowed video.
No, it's
Not allowed to record. But, oh my God, it's the Soap Awards. Team EastEnders!
And what a night EastEnders had. 8 awards, including Best Soap.
It's EastEnders.
So, we are back. What a night.
Wow.
That's long.
It's late.
That's
it's
late.
midnight.
It's-
Oh my gosh, my makeup's down my face. I'm not surprised.
Ties all skew with. I mean, that is a long night. It started at, well, it said on the tickets it started at 7:30. It didn't. It
It
started
started
at about 8:30, close to.
8:15.
Yeah, 8:15, and then went on till about 11:30. Just a telly thing, you know, like pickups and, you know, all that kind of thing.
A good 3 hours,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
good 3 hours, about 3.5
With no
hours. I
break.
would say. No, we weren't allowed out, were we? But it was good fun.
It was really good fun.
And I'll tell you why it was good fun, because EastEnders won like 8 awards.
We won.
Because we won. We won the big one as well. The only one that slipped through the net was Laura Duddington not getting Best Newcomer, which really sucks. But Hollyoaks deserved that win as well.
Well, Laura did as well, but
Yeah, Laura
Hollyoaks,
definitely deserved it, and I hope it was close.
Was it Isabella?
Isabella,
something.
I can't remember her name,
Yeah,
but
from
she is
Hollyoaks.
great, to be fair.
Yeah,
So
we've
she
seen
did-
clips of it.
Yeah, so she did deserve that, to be fair, but it's just a shame that was kind of the only one, really, that EastEnders didn't win.
Yeah, I think it
The only
was.
big
pretty
one.
much.
Like,
Oh, and the young award.
oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Everydale won that
Yeah,
one.
Sonny didn't grab that, which is a shame. But to see actual people, this is the
Yeah.
crazy thing. Like, so before we started, we were outside sort of the Hackney,
The town hall.
where the soap stars kind of all spend their night. And to see these people actually in the flesh is the weirdest thing in the world.
It's very surreal.
It's so weird. Like, they actually exist.
We could have pushed to the front very easily.
We could have pushed to the front, but
we
at the
didn't
same
feel
time,
right,
no.
did we?
And to be fair, I'm the sort of person that likes to go to a zoo and sort of look at an animal through the glass. I don't need to climb into the pen and sort of like pull at it
Not
and
that
all
we're
that kind of
calling
thing.
any of the cast animals.
Some of them
Anyway.
are. But but some of them, they looked phenomenal, by the way, which you will see. I mean, I say that we're not supposed to release anything until the show actually goes on air 5 days after they've recorded it. However, the BBC have released all the
EastEnders
results.
themselves have
Yeah,
announced
so
it,
and the BBC has no kind of jurisdiction to sort of keep that quiet. It's not their channel; they could
we,
care less.
we surprisingly didn't get asked either on
No,
our way in, which
I thought we
were
would.
expecting,
I thought-
and there were signs up saying please don't
Yeah, because there was a
leak it.
Yeah, there was like a producer all the way through the night, like kind of running the show.
Yeah, he
I'd
could
have thought
said.
he'd have said something like "keep your gob shut" until it goes out, but he didn't bother. So
They won the best for the flashback episode
yes,
as well.
yes. Jamie
that
Benson made a
cast there.
really, really long speech.
What was Patsy Palmer's speech about?
I tell you what, we don't know if Patsy Palmer's speech is going to get aired
Not
or
all
not.
of it. I'm confident that not
I
all of
don't
her
think it
speech
will.
is going to get aired, and
No,
we're not going to say.
she talked about vaginas a lot.
Well, she did.
She did. She talked about vaginas a lot.
What she did.
I don't know if it'll all get
It was
aired.
somewhat relevant, considering
Kind
it was
of.
the like nunny line.
It started relevant, then just sort of went
spiraled.
Hey, that's where she was. What she went through. I don't think she expected to win. I think that was the thing.
Yeah, she did say
So
that
she had
as well.
no idea what to say
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I think I was like, oh, she's going to stop, and then she just started talking
didn't
about
bother.
vaginas.
Yeah, and started talking a lot
Like
about
some time.
vaginas. Yeah. But
now we are.
overall, do you know what I mean? I think I had a really, really fun
Yeah, it's
night.
been really
I was
good
so
night.
pleased we came. We had a great time.
What a whirlwind it's
Yeah,
been.
it's been mad. I mean, I don't know how we'd be feeling if EastEnders had a bad night.
I'd be fuming, I'm not
Yeah,
going to lie.
yeah, it would have been a long day for not a
Yeah,
lot, wouldn't it?
yeah.
But the cast looked thrilled, and they deserve to be. And Chris Clenshaw looked thrilled. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Like, he looked really, really happy, and I'm pleased for him as well. Because of all the work that they've done on the show this year for 40th, they deserve.
I think everyone who won something pretty much thanked Chris Clenshaw
Yeah,
as well.
they did.
So, yeah,
He's really
nice.
popular.
Yeah.
He's really popular. What was interesting was Adam Woodyard when they were on
yeah,
the
when they
thing.
won the
literally
best
turning to Ben
overall.
Wadey and saying, "Good luck following that," which I'm sure doesn't fill him with any
No
sort of
pressure.
pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
But what a night! We had great fun. I'm not quite sure what the episode that we're going to edit together is going to look like. We've got bits and pieces. We weren't allowed to film in the theatre.
Oh my gosh, my makeup, that's all I'm looking at right now. Anyway,
Well,
there
the
you
podcast
go. It is
listeners
very
can't see
late.
the makeup,
Oh, yeah,
so that's
true.
fine. So half the audience won't know what you're talking about. But I think it looks stunning anyway.
Thanks, Rob.
That's
So
all
do
right,
you.
mate. It's all right. Cheers. So we will get what we can to you. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, we'll see you soon. It's goodbye from me.
Bye for me.
Greetings, EastEnders fans, and welcome to this week's Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast. And I'm going to stop doing my Jane McDonald impression.
It's like
this
she's
week,
in the
where we'll
room.
be discussing the episodes aired between the 2nd to the 5th of June 2025. We also went to the British Soap Awards last week, and we'll be discussing that in a moment. But first of all, how are you, Rob?
Hello, Jane. How are you this week? Are you all right? It's like
I'm
she's in
all
the
right,
room.
love.
Honestly, it's stunning. If I close my eyes, it's like I'm doing a podcast with Jane McDonald. It's amazing. Yes, ladies and gents. The headline is EastEnders absolutely swept it at the Soap Awards this year. Amazing. 8
Deservedly
awards.
so.
Absolutely. 8 awards, including Best Soap, no less. And what a time it was to be there. Can you imagine if we'd have gone there and it had been a rubbish night for EastEnders? We'd have been left feeling a bit dejected, thinking that we've travelled all that way for nothing. But I can only compare it to if you go and see, I assume, you go and see your favourite football team and they score 8 goals.
Yes, definitely. We were saying that while we were in the crowd, weren't we? We were like, this must be what it feels like to be
Yeah.
a football fan. Is this
Yeah.
why they love it so much?
Yeah. And I was
Right,
certainly
we get
standing
it.
up and cheering like a football fan at places, I tell you.
God, he nearly elbowed me at face at one point when
did.
we won Best Soap.
I
Let
did.
me
I
tell
nearly-
you. Oh,
nearly
God, I
knocked-
feel like I'm going into Jane McDonald again
Yeah,
now.
you
How do
can't
I
help
switch
it now.
off?
I mean, well, to be fair, it's not that dissimilar. Let's be real here. You're not that far. You're not that far from each other,
not
are
that
you?
there's anything wrong.
Where did
Love
you
a
say?
Yorkshire lass.
Where did you say she was from? Wigan.
Just Wakefield, which is
Wakefield.
not that far
Wakefield.
from me, to be
There you
fair.
go. That's it.
30
That's
minutes,
it.
so yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense, doesn't it?
So really, your accents are only about half hour on the train, apart from each other, aren't they?
so, right, yeah.
But I tell you what, ladies and gents, it was an incredible night. Hope you enjoyed the little video that we put together. The only gutting thing is that we weren't close enough to the barriers to actually meet anybody, but
Yeah.
it was
Well,
good enough to see them in real life anyway,
we
wasn't
felt
it?
I think we both surprised ourselves at how awkward we felt at the prospect of doing it as well when we were there, didn't we?
We went there with the intention of like, right, we're just going to push to the front. We're
We're going to push it
podcasters.
for yeah.
we're cocky. We're going to get ourselves into the frame of mind that we used to when we were in the clubs. We're just going to push to the
Yeah.
front, and then in the
Yeah.
end, we were sort of just like stand back and let people scream at the soap because we didn't
Yeah.
want to be the sort that were just screaming in people's faces and like
Not that everybody
yelling their
was
names.
screaming in their
No,
faces, of course, but there were a
some
few
were.
that were, hey, you know what?
Pushier than others, let's just say. But you know what? But what was quite nice was the fact that you had people with their phones on Zoom calls and like sort of showing their mates
Yes,
like
that were
the soap
nice.
stars. I like it. What I loved the most about it was that you were just amongst soap fans. And you were
Yeah,
just able to be the biggest soap geek in the world with no judgment from anybody whatsoever.
yeah,
Everybody has different obsessions when it comes to the soaps. Ours is obviously EastEnders. Other people had Corrie, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, and it was just nice for everyone to be in that frame of mind and just be so supportive of the soaps. Like if you looked at the crowd that was there and then try and tell me that people don't care about the soaps anymore.
yes, very, very true. There are a lot of people who do. It was, do you know what though? As well, it was like a nice vibe. Other than at
Mm,
one point where I felt like I was getting pushed, but that was only a couple of people in
yeah,
particular. Generally speaking, the crowd weren't like that at all. But
no.
there were just a couple that I think I clearly was in their way, and they were doing what we said we were going to do.
Yeah,
So fair
we
play
should
to
have just
them.
done it. But we should have done it better. They had the balls, really. Let's be real
Yeah, I was
here.
going to say they had
They
the
had the
balls.
balls.
So there you go.
But on the whole, it was like a really sort of nice atmosphere. And I think when you get a crowd that big, you're going to get a couple
Hmm.
of shovers, aren't you? It's just the way of the
Yeah.
world. But so it was interesting to watch the Soap Awards back and to sort of see what they made of the footage that was actually filmed at the Soap Awards.
Yes, wasn't it?
Few
So
edits.
it was quite a hot day as well,
Oh,
wasn't
it's
it?
so
Can we
hot.
just Oh my goodness. And inside the actual Hackney Empire itself,
Mm,
it was very hot. And they closed the bar like as soon as we went in. There were a
yeah.
couple of jugs of water lying around,
Took one look at
which
us and was like, right, we're closing the bar. That's it. No, none of that.
it felt like that, didn't
Mm,
it? Um, but it was Yeah, it was very hot, but it was a very, very good atmosphere inside. But it felt quite long, I think, because of the heat, and it was
yeah.
like 3 hours solid filming with no
Yeah.
break.
And it's quite cramped as
Which,
well, isn't it, in that theatre?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
really cramped. You're all sort of like packed in like sardines in a tin.
yeah. It's a bit like when you go to if you go to a gig that's like at a big
Yeah,
stadium kind of thing, and the seats are like on the because we were on the upper circle, weren't we?
yeah,
And you're a bit cramped inside, but it was nice to watch, and like you said, very interesting to see how they film
yeah,
it and then how they edit it because some of
yeah.
those speeches have been edited
Oh,
down
they have. Trust me, they
from
have. I
our
mean,
lot,
what
from
was interesting?
EastEnders.
Yeah, for exactly. I mean, what was interesting is that when I was watching it, I realised that we were so high up, we weren't even in the frame on the TV. Like our little area never even got shown. We were like proper in the
I've
gods.
been taking screenshots. Like, is that us? Is that us? Oh
Yeah.
no, we were even
No,
higher up.
I can
Yeah.
promise you, Reed, we weren't on the telly.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
Fair enough.
yet.
Oh
Maybe,
well,
maybe next year. Maybe next year.
our time will
Um,
come.
So, I mean, in terms of things that you might not have seen, the main kind of editing thing really was a couple of the speeches kind of got shaved down, to say the least. When Jamie Winston went up, because obviously Phil's flashback won Best Episode, very rightly, in my opinion, because I thought the
Yeah, I
episode was
agree.
phenomenal. She had a speech that she had prepared, and she was going to say that speech come hell or high water, because she had a lot of people to thank, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
She did, and she went on and she went on. And I kind of thought that maybe this is just what all the speeches are like and they edit down all of them. But judging by the fact that Jane McDonald, went on stage like when she was talking and sort of like stared at her and was like, yeah, you're done, love, you're done. And then the producer guy that was running the whole kind of show, I thought was really rude because he turned
Yeah,
around.
yeah, it
I
was
thought it was
very
quite rude,
shady.
considering that she just won this prestigious award. He was standing there saying, "Right, everyone, that's how not to do a speech." It was like, "All right, bitch, you calm down." Yeah,
It
she's
was a bit
happy.
awkward, bless her. She was excited, weren't she? Although one thing I would say is the phone, like she was the only person I noticed who read it off a phone. But I
Yeah,
think she just had so many things that she wanted to say, bless her, didn't
yeah,
she? And
she had lots of
obviously,
people to thank.
yeah, she'd been the spokesperson if we win
Yeah,
this award because obviously Steve McFadden wasn't there,
no,
which was a great shame because he actually won quite a few things, didn't he? But
yeah,
wasn't there to.
Phil's storyline won kind of everything except best storyline, but so it kind of won everything around that, didn't it?
Yeah, Yeah,
which felt
definitely.
fine. The other one that was really the other speech that was massively edited was Patsy Palmer's. Now she did on the actual speech that you saw on the telly. She did mention nunny and vaginas. Just
Vagina
the
specifically.
yeah, just the once on the telly, not in real life.
It
The
felt like a 5 to 10 minute
Yeah,
rant
it was the
at
vagina
the actual.
monologues essentially, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
it was the vagina
Vagina
monologues,
monologue
Rob.
she
It really
basically
was.
gave out because she was telling this story about how Shane Ritchie, I think, her and like a couple of the cast had been like doing impressions of the cast's vaginas or something like that,
Yeah,
wasn't
she
she?
said something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an odd time to bring it up. I do feel.
I mean, it was
Um,
linked. It was relevant to the fact that the
the
nunny line
nunny
and all that.
comment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then she just went on and on about vaginas for a bit, which
It was like she needed to be like stopped, like a wind up doll. It was like someone
yeah,
needed to go, okay,
yeah, that's the
okay,
yeah.
we've got it.
You've
That's
said
it.
vaginas
Yeah,
plenty of
yeah.
times, and nobody I can tell you in the history of the British soap awards, or possibly in any speech ever given, has mentioned vaginas as much as Patsy Palmer did that night.
Maybe that's what she was going for, Rob. Maybe
Maybe a
that's
record,
why
a record.
she wanted to win another award for
Yeah, yeah.
mentioning vaginas as many times as possible.
But on the whole, I mean, I think the only other thing I would say that was kind of really cut down was some of the crowd reaction. Because the people where we were just going mad for all their different sorts of categories that they were a fan of. The Swala fans in particular were like I mean, it was kind of comparable to what teenagers sound like at a sort of One Direction concert in times, wasn't it?
Yes. So for anybody who doesn't know, Swala fans are some fans of Coronation Street, and there's a couple on there, Carla and DS Swain,
Mm.
who are a couple now, two women.
Swala.
Swala. Carla, who was never gay and suddenly is gay, from what I can gather.
Yeah,
Okay.
hey, hey.
Um, but
People
you know
change, Ree.
what?
People change.
They do. Hey, it's fine, but explore it like we did with Suki. That's all I'm going to say on that. Sorry. I do
There you
watch
go.
Corrie as well, so I feel like I can comment a little
I have a
bit.
right to say it.
But
Yes.
you know what, right? It's really nice because, like you said before, it's a place where you feel like you can geek out over your other
Yes.
soaps. So it's
Exactly.
nice that they've got that outlet and that
Mm.
place to go. Um, we did hear a couple of heckles though, which I thought were a bit inappropriate. But it was, I think, to be honest, it was like one person, maybe
Yeah.
two, a
Yeah.
push.
Yeah.
Because obviously Rudolph Walker and Angela Winter won Best Partnership.
Mm.
And we were surprised because of how everyone were going about Swallow. We
Yeah. We
genuinely were
assumed that
like, oh,
we
I
assumed they had
think
it
it
in the
is going
bag,
to be
didn't
them.
they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But was that a panel vote? Not
I
a
think
viewer one?
I think it was a panel vote, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a panel vote because they had so really the audience reaction has nothing to do with it. It's sort of like the panel are sort of looking at
Mm.
it, and they Patrick and Yolanda had their two-hander and everything. So I assumed that they looked at everything that went on there
Mm.
and went for that. Yeah, I mean there was a bit, but you know what? It was also sort of just the odd thing. It wasn't anything raucous or anything like that. Just people
No.
being disappointed that their people didn't win.
Yeah.
And that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too abusive or anything like that. There was all sorts of rumors going around online that there'd been like massive boos and everything.
No, it weren't
That
that
wasn't happening.
extreme.
That
No,
wasn't
definitely
happening.
not.
Um, and apparently, what might have sounded like boos was the fact that when Rudolph Walker went up, the EastEnders cast were going Roo, Roo, as in Rudolph. So that sounded a bit
Ah,
like it.
that
Yeah,
could make sense then. That could be why the rumours have started
yeah.
then. No, that I
Um,
didn't hear specific booing. I just heard
no,
somebody. I can't even remember what they said. They said
no, it's
something when
just
they were getting
yeah,
their award.
someone just annoyed that their person didn't win. Which
It weren't
what.
like, at a football match where the
No,
opposite team
there
make
wasn't
chants
riots.
about everyone by
No,
any
there wasn't
means,
riots
was
kicking
it?
off or anything like that.
No, no.
The only what I would say is that they went so mad for Swala when the names were being released that they had to re-record the list of nominees because they drowned out everybody else, which was
And when they were re-recording, they carried on cheering. And they were like, "No, look, we love that you love
we
it,
love
but just
you.
we just need to film this
Yeah,
bit
just this
without you
bit,
cheering."
and then go crazy for the rest of it. Just give
Yeah,
us a sec, all right? But do you know what I mean? I can't talk down about that. I was going mad, like I said, I nearly knocked you out when EastEnders won Best Soap. So
literally.
yeah, I stood up.
I was there trying to capture it on camera at the
Yeah.
moment. Like, no, Rob's elbowed me out of the way.
Yes. I went crazy. I went absolutely crazy, like a raucous fan.
You
But
did.
on the whole, it was just such a fun night. It was long, it was hot, it was cramped, but ultimately, EastEnders come away with 8 awards. what a time to kind of tie up the Chris Clenshaw era, right?
Right. Well, can we talk about one in particular that we were disappointed that we did miss, though? But we understand why. It was the newcomer award, wasn't
Oh,
it?
I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. But yeah, so Laura Doddington as Nicola was up for best newcomer.
Yeah.
There was some stiff competition in that category. I think that what they did edit out of the show was that people were, when Laura's name was announced, there was some
Oh, yeah,
Laura
chance.
going on where we were. Not started by us, but I might have joined in. Uh, nothing sort of going over the top of anybody or anything, just when a
No,
name
no.
was announced, and then we shut up when somebody else's name was mentioned. But Isabel Smith from Hollyoaks won that, and I'm not going to sit here and get all sort of pissy about that because I've seen enough of Isabel Smith in Hollyoaks to know that she is that show's rising star at the moment, and she fully
Yeah.
deserved that win.
We were saying it, weren't we, when she
Yeah,
were up against her? We were like, do
that's
you
the
know what?
competition. Yeah, just right
Yeah.
there.
Because we've seen a lot of, I've not seen episodes, but I've seen a lot of clips of her and she does look like a
Yeah, she's
very
phenomenal.
strong
I would
actress.
say that she's going to be in the TARDIS in the next few years for
I
sure.
could see that. Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
Definitely.
she's very strong, and actually, she sort of really kind of helped Hollyoaks win. Have a good night, to be honest, because they think she won that, and then they won Best Family, and
Best
then
family
Best
with the
Story,
Osbournes.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Best Storyline
Best
went
storyline.
to that because they did a whole sort of sibling sexual abuse storyline that was quite
Hmm.
heavy and sort of brilliant acting from all involved. So they fully deserved all that they won,
Of
Hollyoaks.
course. Yeah.
I will say, but it was just gutting that because I was so hoping that Laura Doddington was going to win it. I might have cursed it, to be fair, because when
I
we
was
were
just
outside,
thinking that.
well, when we were outside, everyone was sort of like screaming all their everybody like, Laura's, Shane, and like going mad, and I was sort of like, have I got to do this? Just to sort of get someone to
We were
look at
like,
me.
oh, do we, do we?
So when Laura Doddington came out, who she looked gorgeous by the way, she looked absolutely stunning. All I could think to say was Laura Doddington, our best newcomer, and she immediately went inside.
Yeah, she's like, bye. My time's
Bye.
up now.
Zoomed in. Yeah, I had to go in. So I
Listen,
was like,
you
right,
know what though?
I'm not meant to do this. That's not my role in life.
Or maybe she was just embarrassed at the prospect of somebody shouting that at her. It's the first
I
soap
don't know.
awards as
To be
well,
honest with you, I don't think she heard me because she had security kind of yelling for her to go in as
Yeah,
well. So I doubt
that
she
is
even heard.
true.
I
Oh
hope
no,
she
I think
didn't.
she did. I think she
Oh, you
did
think that was
actually
the
hear
pure
you.
reason that she went
I'm
inside?
pretty. I don't think it's the pure reason she
I
went
ruined
inside.
everybody else's Nicola experience because Laura Doddington heard me yelling and then just went straight inside. Yeah, fair.
I do
Might have
think
been
that
that.
she
Might
heard
have
you.
been
I'm
that.
not going to
Might have
lie
been
to you,
that.
Rob.
Might have been that. Might have been
Can
that.
we? While we're on that though, what did you say to Angelica Bell after? Can you remember?
Okay, so Angelica Bell, who presented one of the awards,
Oh dear.
it's so awkward. I when the show was finished, we all went outside, and she was leaving from the side entrance, and she was doing a bit of sort of handshaking and pictures and all that kind of thing, and I was quite close to her, and we so
Well,
happened to
pretty much
sort of
like face to
face
face.
to face,
Yeah.
and we just looked at each other, like our eyes met, and she sort of smiled and waved at me, and my brain just went slightly frozen. I was like, lovely to meet you, like an absolute moron. Who does that?
And
I'm
I was
clearly
just
not.
out peeing myself like, lovely to meet
Lovely
you.
to
What
meet
was
you.
that about?
What is that? What is that? Like, clearly, I was
Oh
the
dear.
interaction of the night for her. I would hope. Yeah, lovely to meet
Yeah.
you. Yeah, she didn't say it back. She was just like, yes, mate. Yeah,
Bless
great,
her. I think
and
she
then
was
walked
seeing
off.
if we wanted a picture. And actually, I kind of wish I had got a picture
I
with her
wish I
because
got a
I used to
picture.
love her on
Yeah,
CBBC when
yeah,
I were
and
a
I'm a big
kid.
fan of Big Brother, and she just come out of
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah.
it would have been nice. Talking Big Brother,
Yeah.
saw Jack P. Shepherd as well. That was weird seeing Jack P. Shepherd in real life because he's quite a big name at the minute. It's sort of all in the news. Just
Yeah.
one celebrity, Big Brother.
Mhm.
Obviously was at the comedy award, which, to be honest with you, I'm sort of like I've watched enough of Corrie this year to know that this hasn't exactly been a year for funny David. He's had quite a heavy year. So wherever they gave him forward for
But
comedy award, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
who else they would have given it to though either. I think that's kind of why. Because for me,
Yeah,
David is one of those consistently funny characters anyway.
yeah.
Not that he's had a specifically funny role this year, but I don't know who else they could have given it to.
Well, I mean, he's lost his
Mary would be a
house.
standard one, but she's not
Mary,
really been on
yeah,
it from what I've seen, to be
yeah.
honest. So I don't see who else.
Or even
Anyway,
Pat.
can we
Well,
go on? I was just going to say, shall we mention the elephant in the room that Coronation Street didn't win
Well, I mean,
anything?
yeah, Coronation. Let me tell you, Corrie actually had their worst ever year at the Soap Awards this year.
Bless them.
To be honest with you, it wasn't great for ITV as a whole. To be honest, EastEnders absolutely swept it with 8 awards. Hollyoaks won 3. I think I'm right in saying it's the first time that Hollyoaks has beaten both ITV soaps in the awards.
Yeah, I can believe that easily, yeah.
Emmerdale won 1 for Best
One, I
Young
thought they won
Performer.
two.
They
Oh,
did
okay.
win. Well, they did. They got the Tony Warren Award for one of their camera operators, and then
Yeah,
I think it's April Flanagan. I think her name is got Best
yeah,
Young Performer. Sunny Kendall didn't win that, unfortunately, but so that was Emmerdale's awards. Corrie got special recognition for David Nielsen. Absolutely right, because that man's a legend.
yeah.
But that was literally it for Corrie,
Bless him.
and then
It's not been
EastEnders
a
won everything
great year.
else.
Although there was one thing that I thought, oh, maybe Corrie could win against us, and they didn't. I can't remember which one it was now, and I genuinely thought, oh, it was the Mason episode.
Yes, yeah, I watched the
And
Mason episode. It was very good. Yeah,
I thought it were good actually. So I was well, I wasn't surprised because obviously they were up against some very good competition, like ourselves
obviously,
at
like
EastEnders.
ourselves at EastEnders.
But I did think that they'd win more than they did. I must
Mm,
admit, like, I was
yeah.
surprised at how they didn't win anything.
No, it was
Um,
their worst ever night by a minute. I don't think it's well, you
mm,
can't get much worse other than the special recognition award going to somebody else from another soap, and then they would have had absolutely nothing, which
mm.
is not normal for Corrie, to be honest with you. So I don't know what reaction they had with that behind the scenes, but hey,
No, bless them. Especially when they were in London as well. Like they've
yeah,
travelled down from Manchester
yeah,
because.
yeah.
So, who else did we meet at the Soap Awards? Who did we meet there, Rob? We need to give a little shout out, I feel, to
Well,
Conversation
indeed.
Street.
Conversation Street. Michael and Gemma from the Conversation Street podcast. Lovely people. Absolutely loved meeting them. I mean, I've been listening to Conversation Street. They've been going for years now, Conversation
Yeah.
Street. They're close to nearly 700 episodes. Can you imagine us doing 700 episodes of this?
Wow.
And that's dedication.
Commitment.
I mean, they
Yeah.
do live together. They are a couple. So that makes it easier.
It does, yeah. But you introduced me to Conversation Street as
Yeah.
well. So
I've been
I was
talking to them for
listening a
years
lot.
anyway.
So it felt quite surreal when for me to, it was Gemma more so because I've never
Yeah.
seen Gemma properly. Like I've seen
No.
Michael's face on
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
But what a lovely couple and
Yeah.
absolutely love talking to him. Like Gemma, absolute who, like,
Yeah, she's
she's so
hilarious.
funny.
She's
Isn't
so
she?
funny. She's so,
Brilliant.
and let me tell you, Conversation Street listeners, that woman is foul mouthed.
Oh yeah, she said
I tell you what, the
Michael
editing that
has to tell
Michael,
her, doesn't
I tell you what, the
he?
editing that Michael must have to do. I tell you. But the pair of them are absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
We will at some point be doing some sort of joint podcast thing with them. So massively look forward to doing that. Can't wait to do that actually, because like I say, I've been listening to them for years.
Mm,
So it was sort of podcast royalty talking to those two. So absolutely
it
great stuff.
was.
So yeah, that was about it, but it was just an absolutely great time. It was lovely to see you in person again, Ree, as well, obviously, because how
And
often do we
you,
do that these days?
we never do. It was so
No.
good to just be milling about with Robin. I noticed a couple of people commented saying it was weird to see us together, and it's like it's
Yeah.
strange, isn't it? Because that's like we did do that all the
Yeah, we
time.
used to
This
sort of
is
go
the
to uni
weird thing
together.
for
Yeah,
us.
for us, this is odd. You know, the fact
Yeah.
that we're not actually in the same room, because we used to just hang around all the time together, didn't we,
Oh,
back
so
in
we
the
pretty much
day?
lived together, I think, at
Yeah,
uni at one
pretty
point. We
much.
were just in each
Shared
other's
bed, we've
pockets.
shared beds and stuff, me and
Yeah,
Reese.
everything, everything.
Everything,
Well, not everything,
everything.
but you know.
No, not everything. Nothing went on in the bed, let me assure you. But it was really great to see. So let's hope we'll do that again soon, on or off
Yeah.
camera.
And
So go on.
I was just gonna say, sorry, one last thing. How cool was the hotel that I booked for us,
Oh
Rob?
my God, that was the coolest hotel I've ever seen. I mean, you
Soz,
might
you're
you might be able
welcome.
to, you might be able to see it in some of the video. And if they want to see the video, Ree, where do they go to?
www.youtube.com/Albert Square After Dark.
Yeah, that was just www.youtube.com and have a look.
Have a look.
But the hotel that you booked was something out of Black Mirror. It was crazy. Like you could control the entire room with an iPad. That would
Yeah.
be the lighting, the telly, the blinds on the outside of the window that when you took down, it just blacked out the room completely. So you had a great night's sleep. The bed was huge. The shower, you could like do kind of cool lighting and you could put the room into sleep mode, which sort
Yeah.
of lowered the lights down and played like really soft sea music and all that kind of thing and it lulled you into sleep. You could set an alarm so that the room would wake you up, although we didn't need that, let me say. because the fire
No.
alarm went off
Yeah.
about 10 minutes after our alarms went off anyway for our trains
Yeah.
home, which is a good job, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it didn't. It's luckily it didn't wake me up. I'd already woken up,
Yeah,
but the fire alarms went on for quite some time.
it did.
Quite worrying that no one actually
No one
tried to
cared.
evacuate.
No,
It
just
was
a
like,
person burning building. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, breakfast. Yeah, it was great. But really nice room. Well done for getting that,
mm,
Ray. We'll stay there
okay,
again. Absolutely
yeah,
stay there
definitely.
again. But on the whole, an amazing time. Absolutely loved it. And let's hope we get to do the same thing again next year. It's in Manchester next year.
I was just gonna say I'm really hoping it is because
Mm,
we found out they alternated, don't they? I'd love to
yeah,
go in Manchester and see what it's like there.
yeah. Really, really fun. So we'll do
Mm,
that next year. We'll get like a nice hotel in. I'll leave you to do the hoteling in
fine.
Manchester. Yeah, get us a nice place for you,
I
just
don't
like
know
you
if it'll
did
be an
this year.
iPad controlled one, but I'll see what I can do.
See what you can do. So on to this week's award-winning EastEnders. Clenna's, I do believe, penultimate week. His final week is next week. Ben Wade's era officially begins on the 16th of June. We, of course, will be doing a Chris Clenshaw retrospective next week. We'll be filming that at some point next week, and that'll be out over the weekend, I think, next week. So that'll be good to do. But on to this week. Funnily enough, after they've absolutely swept the floor at the awards and had such a big week last week, this week was a lot quieter. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I agree. He was, yeah, definitely.
A lot quieter.
But it felt like one of those setup weeks that we sometimes
Yes.
have, I feel. And
Yes.
even though it was quieter, a lot went on, so there's a lot upcoming. I mean, he's leaving Wadey with quite a bit, so there's that, isn't there?
Wasn't he
Although I'm
just?
not sure how I'm feeling about all this limo stuff, but we'll get to that, I
No, we'll
think.
get to that though. We will get to that.
Mm.
So let's crack on with the show proper in this week's Albert Square After Dark. So we will kick off this week. We're talking about Lauren and Peter. And let me tell you, someone who's not getting a gold star from us this week, I suspect, will be Peter.
I mean, that whole toxic man discussion we had the other week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably going to backtrack on that now and be like,
Well,
what on earth, Peter?
I mean, the thing is, I can sort of see a path where I understand what he's trying to say, but at the same time, it's sort of like there's ways and means, Peter, for God's sake. Like, this is not the way that you deal with an addict. Like, they're going to find
No.
stuff hard occasionally, and actually, what Lauren's gone through the past couple of weeks has been quite traumatic for her, and
And I'm
your attitude towards
sorry,
her isn't helping.
wasn't he addicted to cocaine at one
Yeah,
point?
yeah, he was, yeah.
So
Yeah. So,
what's
and
what's to stop her throwing that in his face and going, well, how do I know when going gets tough, you're not going to go and get loads of
yeah,
coke then?
exactly. It would have been nice to sort of mention. I mean, I don't know if yeah, she would have known about that. So yeah, it would
It's
have been
because it
nice
were a
to sort of
different Peter,
mention.
weren't it? Maybe
Yeah,
it
different
wasn't
Peter.
Thomas
Yeah.
Law Peter when that
No,
happened.
yeah, it
So,
was yeah. So this one didn't even sleep with Suki. This Peter.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, or Dana. This Peter's done nothing like that.
Mm,
So obviously, after the events of Jimmy's diagnosis, Peter and Lauren are at loggerheads, and they're
mm,
really not in a very good place with their relationship at all. Um, Simple fact is, Peter blames Lauren for everything. He
yeah.
is basically convinced that, and it's, I mean, I don't know whether he's right or not. I don't think they've had a proper sort of like solid diagnosis of that yet, but it seems to Peter that Lauren's drug taking during the pregnancy has basically
Mm,
resulted in Jimmy's blindness, which
yeah.
is probably why he's acting the way he is.
I mean, it is likely, and I can understand why you would feel some anger towards that if you
Mm.
genuinely believing that that's what caused it. But for me as well, like, has everybody forgotten that Cindy were giving it to her and
Yeah,
like
like
helped her on
she's
that
got out
path
of this.
anyway?
She has got out of this completely scot-free on the
Yeah.
whole.
In fact, at one point, she was slating Lauren and being like, I can't believe she's left you with a newborn, Peter. Like,
Yeah,
are you joking? That's what he would. He's just been doing that for the past
yeah,
week, we're led to believe. So what are
yeah,
you on about? And it's your fault, Cindy.
yeah,
Pipe down, love.
yeah. As much as you love Cindy,
Oh, it says she
yeah,
ain't getting my gold star this week. Let
no.
me tell you, it's a sin. It is a sin,
It is a
Cindy.
sin. It is a sin. Oh, mind you, Cindy on the microphone. Now that's
Oh my,
that was an
yeah,
iconic scene. Yeah, she
yeah,
all
it
forgiven for
was.
since she got onto the microphone after that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't fault her for that. So Lauren sort of reacts basically to everything that Peter is saying, and decides that she wants to get a drink. Now, I was pleased to see that wherever she went, people were like, "No, love, like we're not doing
Yeah.
that." I mean, stupidly, the first person she went to was Linda, who, if she thought that Linda was going to serve her alcohol, then she was barking up the wrong tree, surely.
But I feel like Lauren did this somewhat deliberately because she even mentioned it herself. I'm like, maybe he was right that I was looking for a bit of drama because I
Yeah,
could have just gone to an off license and got some. But
yeah.
really, she wanted somebody to stop her almost. I feel like
Should have gone to
she's been
Tracy.
in.
Tracy served Phil. Should have gone to
Oh, yeah,
Tracy.
innit? Yeah. She'd
Yeah,
be like, do you want a
yeah.
triple,
Oh,
actually?
yeah. I'll
Chuck
make
you a
a
triple
triple shot.
in.
Like, yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
Sambuca shot in there as well while
Yeah.
you're at it.
On meat Sambuca
Yeah,
shot.
yeah. On the house.
Ah.
Ah,
No, I feel like her and Peter were having the argument, and then he said something like, "Oh, because you're just going to go off and have a
Lauren
drink
show.
or something," and he was basically accusing her of it. And I feel like in that moment, Lauren was like, "Well, if you're going to accuse me of it, I
Might as
might
well
as
go
well.
get pissed.
Why
Yeah,
don't I go and do it then?
yeah,
If you're going to just say it at me anyway, when I'm not even doing it, then I might as well go and do it." I
yeah.
feel like that was some of the logic. But yeah, and then she went to Peggy's barn, and it was Gina who refused her. So
Harry's
part
barn.
of me does think she Harry's barn, sorry, yeah. Part of me were thinking she does know that she's going to get refused.
Yeah.
But then didn't we have that scene with her and Zach where she ordered a vodka and they gave it her, and she's just like, "Oh, I just like to order one and stare at it sometimes."
Yeah, a few like when she first came back, I think that was, wasn't it? Like she
Mm,
ordered the drink, and mind you, no, I don't think anybody knew her in the bar at that point, did they?
yeah, true.
And yeah, I think she just said, yeah, I just like to sit and stare at it, maybe sniff it occasionally. And I remember thinking at the time that doesn't seem like a good idea whatsoever.
No.
So I'm glad she didn't do that. But talking to Zach, she ends up going back to Zach's. And by the
Hmm.
end of Monday's episode, because Zach's in a mess anyway as well. So by the end of that, they end up having a little smooch.
Yes, a little kiss. Well, we don't. He definitely kissed her back, didn't we? And they
Oh,
left.
I imagine tongs and everything were involved in that
Yeah.
kiss. Yeah, they went at it
And
like beasts.
well, they didn't go. They didn't though, did they?
Well, they
Because
didn't
they
sleep
left the good
together. It
stuff.
seemed
Yeah.
to suggest that they were about to go and sleep together. But when we got into
Mm,
Tuesday's episode, it was revealed that Zach had slept on the sofa.
yeah.
So
Fair.
good,
Yeah.
good, good. So we should. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, if you could say kissing probably is cheating as well, but she didn't. It didn't go as far as it possibly could have done at that moment, which is
No.
good. But does this suggest Zach and Lauren?
They're quite well suited, to be fair, aren't
They
they?
are rather, and I can't really see at this point much of a future between Peter and Lauren either.
No way he's carrying on. Are you
No,
joking me?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like Zach was what Lauren needed from Peter, weren't
Mm,
he?
yeah,
But would Zach be like that if he was in Peter's position? I don't know. If it was his child and he genuinely believed that it was her,
possibly.
drug taking during pregnancy, would he be that understanding? But because he's somewhat of an outsider, he's able to
Mm,
see Lauren's perspective a bit more.
yeah, yeah,
Not that I'm condoning Peter's behaviour this week, because he's been absolutely awful. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
like ridiculous. But also, it gave Peter a moment to pull his finger out his arse and
yeah,
help with Jimmy while she weren't there,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
instead
Because he's been
people
off
were berating
sulking.
her for not being there.
He's basically been sulking for most of the
Hmm.
in the aftermath of the diagnosis and just sort of leaving Lauren to it,
Yeah.
and then wondering why she's struggling. So it was too right. She was nice. It was nice to actually see Peter do some actual parenting for a change.
Mm.
I mean, there was some nice stuff between Zach and Lauren, I thought. That scene where, because the problem is, because of the difficulty that she's been having with feeding, she's having difficulties, shall we say, and she's sort of leaking. Now, you've, right, I've been,
Go
I'm
on,
embarrassed,
ask away.
I'm
Ask away.
embarrassed to ask this.
I can answer it, Rob. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, love. Don't you get embarrassed.
So, there was some leakage going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, this is because of her natural hormones, like creating the
Yeah.
milk, and so it has to come out, doesn't it? It like, well,
Yeah.
is there anything you can do apart from, because presumably the situation of baby not latching on is kind of quite common whilst that's going on. So is there anything you can do? I'm not suggesting there's like a milking machine or anything that you just stick to your boobs and it kind of comes out. But
Are you
is there anything?
joking?
Is there a thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what you do,
Is
Rob.
that a machine? Is there a machine?
Are you joking? It's called a breast pump. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. But because Lauren had gone out being impulsive, so if you're
Yeah.
if you're not able to feed your child for whatever reason, so like you're going, no, that's fine. There'll be plenty. Do you know what? To be
Didn't
fair,
have
I
a
probably
clue.
wouldn't have known this before
Didn't
I
have a
had a
clue.
kid. So if you're not able to feed your child for
I
whatever
didn't even know that you
reason,
could have lactose cookies. I sent you that picture when
you
just when
told
you were
me,
getting,
neither did
yeah.
I.
Did you know
Neither
this,
did
ladies and
I.
gents? They're bloody expensive, but you can buy cookies that that you can
Help
buy
you produce
cookies that help
milk
you
when
produce
you feed,
milk.
when you're
I didn't know
breastfeeding.
this. They look quite nice on the packet. I was half tempted to try some, but they were nearly 20
No,
quid,
they
so I
were. You're not
didn't.
missing out. You're better off
Are they
getting
not
a normal
nice?
cookie. They were
No.
all right, but
Yeah,
yeah, you could tell that they were.
Stick with a Marylands, you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So
Yeah.
yeah, you get a breast pump machine, and they come in all.
Oh,
You can get all kinds of different ones, Rob.
really?
You can get manual ones, electric ones. You
Electric.
get all
That sounds
different ones.
painful.
No, no, not
Is it
more. I
not?
wouldn't say it's any more painful than actual breastfeeding, which
Sticking an
in the
electric
first
breast
week or
pump onto your
two,
boobs. That sounds quite
if it hurts,
strenuous.
it's the wrong one, and you need to get a different one. You get
Right.
different
Okay.
sizes. So basically, she could have either been wearing breast pads, so that would have caught it as well, so that it doesn't leak
Yes.
through a top.
Yes.
But again, depending on like your feeding situation, that might not even be enough,
Hmm.
depending on how much comes out. But yeah, so if you're not able to feed your child, you would get a breast pump. So women who have to
So
go
she needs a
back to
breast
work
pump.
early, you'd get a breast pump and you'd have a breast pump break.
And then when you have like, your breast pump, can you then sort of transfer it into a bottle or something
It
and
goes
feed it?
into a bottle from the pump, some of them,
Oh,
Rob.
genius.
Yeah, I thought of everything in
Genius. Haven't they
2025.
just?
And you can
Genius.
store it and you can
Wow.
save
Can you
it. So you can
freeze
give it
it?
to your kid from the bottle. Like bodybuilders buy breast milk
Shut
because
up.
of, yeah, I swear to God.
Shut
I
up.
swear to God. Because it's so high in protein and all the stuff in it's so good for you. Yeah, people make money from it.
That's mad.
You know, women who have an oversupply.
Yeah. They
Woo!
sell it. Really? Wow.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
people buy it. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, that's
There you
what
go.
you would do normally. But because obviously she just went out
Yeah.
really impulsively, she won't have had any breast pads or a breast
Yeah.
pump with
Yeah.
her. But
Wow.
yeah, that is what she should have done. Anyway, there we go. 5 minute
Fascinating.
breast pump convo.
Fascinating. But so basically she spends the night at Zach's, and
Yeah.
the next day she kind of goes and sees Peter, and who's suddenly quite apologetic, and talking to her about honesty, which kind of pushes her over the edge again. And they I think they're basically done. They're at loggerheads now, aren't they? And the trust's gone. I think the respect's gone on both sides.
I think as well, which hasn't helped, is Lauren's not actually said where she was when she's gone. Like she's like, I'm at a mate's. If you've
Which
got
mate?
nothing to hide, you just say I was at
Yeah.
Penny's or
Yeah, or
wherever, you
something.
know.
Yeah, yeah. That's all she needs to say. But the fact that she couldn't specify which mate, kind of, I think, yes, Peter was bang out of order for most of this week. But at the same time, you
Yeah,
can sort of
definitely.
see, yeah, I understand why he's sort of getting a bit pissy about that because you can't even
Yeah,
tell him, and
where she went.
yeah, the first thing that will come to his head is, oh, she went and cheated on me. Which, if
Yeah.
Lauren had had her way at that moment, she probably would have done, and arguably she kissed Zach, which is cheating in itself. So.
There is that, isn't there? But my goodness, Peter, come on. Do you know what really riled me is that he's not cared at all. Well, not that he's not cared, okay, but he's not helped with Jimmy, has he?
No, not
Then
really.
all of a sudden he's made to help with Jimmy because Lauren goes, well, do you know what? Sod you. I'm going if you're going to say all this stuff.
Mm.
And she, you know what? It's really hard being a new mum.
Of course it
So
is.
when you've got a partner being that unsupportive
I
and you're
couldn't
going
do it.
through everything, it's kind of fair play that she went off for the night. And
Mm.
she must have been bad to leave her kid,
Yeah.
right? To do that in the first place. But then for him to be like, oh, well, now I'm going to bond with him for the night and then I'm going to take him to hospital and get custody. Like, oh, now all of a sudden you want to be involved. Are you for real?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
he's now after full custody of both Louis
which is
and
mental.
Jimmy. What do you reckon his chances are? I mean, I don't know if this is going to go all the way to court or anything like that, but I mean, the
I
problem
know
is
that
Ian's got money, so he's going to buy
there is
solicitors and
that.
stuff. So, and there's more of a family business on Peter's side. So, in the eyes of the court, is Jimmy going to be more suited to being with Peter than Lauren at this point?
It's not often that they side with the father like completely, but I
Mm,
do think these days that fathers have more rights than they used to. I think a lot of it
yeah.
can go on whether they're on the birth certificate. That's quite an official thing these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Which he is.
So he's got a good chance in that regard. But I guess it depends on whether they try if he's going to play dirty and go down all her addiction route. But
What does Lauren
at the
do for
same
work at the
time,
minute?
well, shit, the car lot. feel like she went to the car with Jay
She
at
was,
one point.
yeah, I think she was at
Yeah,
the
she
car lot before.
was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But she'll be on maternity leave at the minute,
Yeah,
you'd think.
yeah,
Um, so I'm going to say, I guess it depends if he plays really dirty and tries to go down the addict route. But at the same time, Lauren's been incredibly open about it, even with like health visitors and midwives,
yeah.
and they all know that she's on the methadone. So I don't know how far they go with these things. Will they be getting a drug tested and alcohol tested? I've no idea. But then you're saying Ian's got all the money, but we know
Mm.
rumor is that somebody else is coming back who might help Lauren out and
Indeed.
help
Which I
prove
wonder
that
if
she's
this
got a
is.
stable home.
I wonder if this is the start of it. Although if that person's coming back and claiming stability, he'd be lying. Let's be real here.
There's that.
Yeah, so much to come with that, I think. It feels like this is very much the sort of start of the disintegration of Peter and Lauren, and I would argue maybe the beginning of Zach and Lauren.
Yeah, I agree. But just something I'm going to mention actually, we had the scene where Peter went to the private hospital and he saw that little girl who
Oh yes.
like had she's got sight difficulties as
Yeah.
well, or I don't know if she was fully blind. I think she were partially
Yeah.
sighted.
Yeah.
And he had a conversation with her parents. And for me, when he were talking to him and they said, "Oh, what we realised is we need to provide a stable home,"
Mm.
I thought that were going to be his turning point of, I need to go and apologise to
Yeah.
Lauren. I need to go
Well,
back. We need to make it work. That's how I thought that
yeah.
conversation was going. I weren't
Yeah.
expecting him to do a complete 180 and be like, right, well, then I need full custody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he's turning into his dad, is Peter, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And maybe a little bit of Cindy as well, we always
Mm.
being, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So we should say, I'll tell you what though, this is the thing. I can see Cindy sort of working all of this to her advantage. She'll be saying to Ian, right, we need to work together. We need to work together, Ian. And
Yeah.
she'll be able to get her claws back in from that point to kind of get back in within the family.
She already has a little bit, didn't she? She organised that meeting this week. Her and Kathy, oh, all is forgiven that you whacked me over the head with a shovel because, we need to help Lauren and Peter. All of a sudden, that's all been put to the side because Kathy came, didn't she, as well?
Yeah. Well, we shall have to wait and see. Talking of Cindy, we'll talk about her next because she has opened the bar for business. So the Prince Albert is under new management. Cindy has officially taken over, and because she's Cindy, everything goes wrong because she's trying to sort of. The thing is, what she does is like, right, everything needs to change. I want every single scrap of Kathy removed from this place, whatsoever, like completely, and it's going to be a much more higher market. I want high market gays and lesbians in this place, and nothing else.
Yes, of
And
course she does.
yes, and as a result of that, she probably I think what she does is that she spends far too much on everything else and doesn't think to do that little thing called paying the staff.
Well,
Well,
actually, I feel a certain way about
I
this.
wondered if you'd have something to say about this, being a bar owner and that.
Kathy should have paid those wages.
Mm,
They were under Kathy's employment when they did those hours. That would
yeah.
not be up to Cindy to pay.
So you'd be kicking off if you were
Also,
Cindy. You'd be taking it to court.
they'd have no, yeah, because the staff would have no chance getting it off Cindy. They didn't work for her then. They worked for Kathy.
She did
So
mention
unless,
that briefly at one point,
yeah,
didn't she? But it didn't really get
yeah.
kind of picked up on after apart from
I
that.
can see why the staff might not understand that
Yeah,
though.
it's
And
not
just
their
like, well,
problem.
Cindy's not paid us.
Yeah, it's not their problem. Who pays them, is it? As long as they get paid.
But also quite shady of Kathy because even if you
Yeah.
have given up your business and all that, like they worked for you at that point, you took the profits from the shifts that they worked.
Yeah, she probably
You
did it
should have paid their
deliberately.
wages. But anyway,
Probably did it
there we go. We
deliberately.
wouldn't have had the drama though, would we? If that had have
And
happened.
we love the drama, Mick.
We do love the drama.
So the bar is kind of open. I loved all of this. I thought it was so like the funeral that they gave the old bar, brilliant.
Yeah, it was good that.
This is Cindy at her most camp and sort of iconic, isn't it? Like if you don't
Yeah.
like Cindy, then you're going to struggle with moments like this. Fortunately, we both love her. And when she's in
Yeah.
this mode is when she's at her most like brilliant, I think, because like the idea that she would throw a funeral, walk through the square with a makeshift coffin, with Tara Masu all dressed up, and herself in like a dramatic black veil, as though like they're having some sort of state funeral for
Yeah.
the bar. Brilliant.
Perfect. I think it was Tara Masu's idea though, weren't it? Because just
Yeah.
before they walked in, she was like, whose idea was this? But then she was
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah,
we're
while
here
we're
now.
here.
I think
Yeah.
she saw Elaine's reaction and was like, oh, I'm going
Perfect.
in
Well
then.
done. Well done. We'll do
Yeah.
this. Yeah. I mean, and nice to see Tara again, by the way, before Felix leaves.
Why is Felix leaving? There's
So
finally
he's getting so much more to do at the minute, isn't he? Like he's got
Yeah.
with Johnny, and
Johnny.
it's so frustrating. Like they
He could
find,
literally just be the GM of the
yeah,
Albert for Cindy. They
yeah,
can have their little to and
yeah.
fro's about things.
He could easily have been the deputy manager of the Albert.
Yeah, easily. Easily. He could definitely have done that. Anyway, there we go.
So
Plus, you've
frustrating.
been saying as well for ages about how Kathy like just didn't suit earning the Albert. Then they've
No,
got Cindy who could be paired with Felix as well.
yeah,
They could have their own little beefs. It's so
yeah.
annoying,
It would
but
have
it's
been really
happening.
good. It would have been really, really good. So yeah, what happens from this, however, is because the staff all walk out on opening night, Cindy's kind
Yeah.
of screwed. And the poor woman's ordered cardboard cutouts of herself and everything. I want one. I want one. I want a Cindy cardboard cutout in my room,
Okay.
standing over my
Noted.
bed. Yeah. Make sure that happens for my birthday, please, Ray. Uh, so what happens is George kind of ends up feeling a little bit guilty, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, Kojo and George walk past and see her struggling to take the boxes in, don't they? After he's
Yeah.
already seen her a couple of times that week
Mm.
struggling with the new reopening. And yeah, and then he decides he's going to help her, doesn't he? I don't know how I feel about this. Well, I do
See,
know how I feel about
well, you
it.
do. I'm sure you do. He hires some staff for her, and the evening goes by pretty spectacularly. Like the bar opens and the whole night's a big success. At the same time, while Elaine is trying to do one of her karaoke nights at the Vic, which absolutely flops.
Yeah.
Nobody goes, nobody there. She actually has to physically frog march people to the microphone. Patrick and Yolandi doing their number, bless them. Not
Yeah,
suited for
they
karaoke work,
definitely
I
got forced
suspect.
into it.
Just side note, we should mention Shrimpy and Marie.
Oh, why not?
Why not? Like
Love
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
it's
not?
funny that they do. I love it every so often when they have like the extras have a little bit of a
Yeah,
thing.
have a little
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Shrimpy
funny.
and Marie,
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm all up for
why
that.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope they're very happy together. Absolutely loved it. I mean, Marie looked absolutely besotted by Shrimpy when he was
Besotted.
singing.
Oh, weren't
Yeah,
shame doing his little
yeah.
rendition for her.
I thought Shrimpy would be a better singer because he was on the piano and stuff like that. I figured that he'd be like some really kind of talented soul singer or something, and he apparently, according to that karaoke session, he wasn't.
I know what you mean. I was surprised that he was so bad, but maybe he was drunk. I don't know.
Distracted by Marie's beauty. That's what it would have
Drunk
been.
in love.
Drunk in love. That's what he was like,
There you
Ray.
go.
And when you're in love, you can't sing. It's a known fact. Apparently
Apparently
not.
so.
No.
So yeah.
Yes. Go on.
Meanwhile, George is at the Albert helping Cindy, while
Mm,
Elaine's, like, where are all my customers? Why is it so successful over there?
yeah.
That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Mm,
We're here
I'm not.
again.
I'm Well, this is it. I'm not a fan of this whole George and Cindy thing. He
Any
can't be
minute
getting over the
now.
fact. No, he can't. He can't just get over the fact that she slept with his son. Come on,
You wouldn't think
he's
so.
he's just forgotten like that.
There is surely only so much that Cindy can turn around to him and say, it's for the girls, like these fully grown
Yeah,
women. Like, it's not like these two are kids anymore. Like, they're fully
no,
grown women capable of leading their own lives. Like, Anna's on holiday at the minute on her own. Like, she's fine. You don't need to run this bar for the
no,
girls. You're doing it for yourself. Like, everybody can
yeah,
see that, apart
yeah.
from George, it would appear.
I know that they've got like this history and everything, but you would think that her sleeping with his son would be enough to go,
I'm
do you
kind of
know
done
what?
with
I'm
you,
not going to
love.
help you. Maybe
Yeah,
you should carry your own boxes in, actually.
yeah,
You've made your bed and my
yeah,
son's, so
yeah,
lie in it. I'm
yeah.
not going to come and help you. I actually felt for Elaine this week. I know
Mm.
that she has a rivalry, but then for George to not then go and tell her that he'd been helping,
Yeah, and then to say, I'm going to go and apologise for your behaviour.
mm,
Mm,
I'd be fuming if I were
I
Elaine.
know, so would
I'd
I.
be
So
like,
would
and while
I.
you're at it, go and stop at Phil's again. All right?
Yeah,
For the
exactly.
foreseeable.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. Yeah, are we back in any minute now territory, do we reckon?
no.
It was a fun
And if we
catchphrase.
are, I'm actually not here for it at all. I'm actually going to be quite annoyed if we are there.
It feels like it shouldn't happen now. Like, after
No.
everything that Cindy's done, I struggle to see why George would have any sympathy for her whatsoever. Like I say, there's only so much you can push using the girls as an excuse, you know?
Yeah. Do you know what I have just thought though?
What?
So Cindy's going to be helping Peter try and get custody.
Mm,
Lauren's on the other side, and Max is coming back.
yeah.
So Max and Cindy are going to be at loggerheads over Jimmy, and that's what's
Hmm.
going to cause their affair. So why is
Yeah.
George getting in the mix anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. George
We don't
and
need
George
George. We've
versus
got Max
Max.
coming.
Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, we don't know an affair's happening between Max and Cindy, but we very much assume it.
I
It's
mean,
like,
if there's
I
any
mean,
two people,
imagine they're both single. It's not even an affair. That doesn't suit Cindy whatsoever. She needs to get with someone so that she can then have an affair.
No, but it would be an affair in a way because Lauren and Peter are going to be at each other's throats, and to the
Yeah.
public, they're going to be against each other supporting the two kids. But behind closed doors, we know exactly what I'm going to be going up
Not
to.
technically an affair, but unwise, which,
Yes,
Cindy has never slept with anybody wise in her entire life. So
exactly.
why break the habit of a lifetime? I mean, yeah, it is what it is with George and Cindy. It feels like at some point they sort of have to sleep together, but given their history. But at the same time, it's sort of like now, after everything that's happened, I don't
Mm,
understand why George ever would. But are
no.
we led to believe that George kind of deep down does sort of still love her?
It's like they've got this unbreakable connection in it. I
Mm,
think that's what we're supposed to see. And
yeah,
he just
yeah,
gets Cindy and she
yeah.
just gets George.
Yeah. It's the addiction that Cindy is. This is the thing. They kind of frame Cindy as being this addiction that men
Mm,
sort of can't help but be magnetized towards.
mm.
And maybe George is sort of falling into that category. Ian seems fairly over her at the minute. Again, it would
Yeah.
seem struggle to sort of imagine Ian wanting to get back with Cindy at this moment. And I feel like she's hurt George as much as she's hurt Ian. So it's sort of like, and the girls wouldn't even be that enamored with the idea of George and Cindy getting back together, I don't think, would they?
No, no, if anything, Gina will like let her get a black cab and wave by. I don't want anything to
Mm,
do with her. But then George has got the angle of, you've got your mummy here, you're lucky. I never got a chance to meet my real mum
yeah,
and all of that
yeah.
jazz that he said this week.
Mm,
So again, you're saying they say it's about the girls, but then when you think about what George has got going on and what he wants for his daughters, but he doesn't need to be involved.
no,
To be fair, does he? He
no,
doesn't need to be getting involved in that.
in any
And
way.
like you said, they're grown ups. They can make their own decisions on whether they want to be involved with the mum or not. She was sleeping with the brother. I mean, when you put it like
Yeah.
that,
Why would any of you give her the time of day?
yeah,
And
mm-mm.
she did at one point go around accusing everybody of trying to kill her.
Yeah, and that little thing. Yeah, and sorry, which you're an absolute dick to both
Yeah,
Gina and Anna on Christmas
she
Day. Let's
was.
not
She called
forget.
them both pathetic for being slightly upset that she was walking out of their lives again for no reason.
Yeah, like about something that a child could get upset
Yeah,
about to do with
yeah.
the mother.
Well, an adult could get upset
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
In all
well,
fairness,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
when you thought that she was dead for years.
yeah.
Hey, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I feel like the arrival of Max is going to caused quite a lot of drama, as we knew it would. So bring that on, as far as I'm concerned. Right, ladies and gents, before we get on to what looks to be a big wedding kicking off next week, let's have a brief discussion about Avani. So, brief little discussion about Avani. Obviously, Barney, bless him, had some making up to do, and Priya was not about to let him do it, was she?
Hilarious that Nicola's accepted of Arnie, but Priya's not accepting little Barney,
I
bless
know.
him. But quite funny, we're gonna have some beef there.
Does it seem slightly odd to you that Harry seems to have just sort of been okay this week with Nicola and everything? But it seems
Well,
like
he what?
Barney, understandably, has had the most effect from this, and him and Zach have clearly now got a very difficult relationship ahead of them. But Harry seems all right.
It's like they're all living a shared fantasy at the minute,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I
Of
think
let's
so.
go back to normal and pretend none of this happened.
All
He
for
did.
Barney.
He did make a slight dig because she said something about, "Oh, is that your?" When Barney got a text, "Is that your Panisar princess? I approve."
Yeah.
And then Harry were like, "Oh well, that's a big test to pass, Barney." It's
Mm,
like, but yeah, I know what you
yeah.
mean. Like, even though he's doing it for Barney's sake, it does feel like, would you really be doing that when you just found out you
Mm,
were like you literally look like you're about to kill your mum the other week,
yeah.
quite literally, and now you're
Yeah.
living in house with her again to help your little brother. I don't know. It's a
Mm.
very weird. It's
They're a
very
weird
weird how they've
family.
left it all.
Let's be honest, they're a weird family, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's
They are
strange how they've just
basically.
left the Zach stuff and they're just all going to carry on like it never happened, including Nicola in that
Yeah,
mix.
there was a few hints at the Zach thing this week because Zach kind of kept trying to talk to Barney, and Barney would just sort of scurry off, and there was a
Mm.
bit of a sort of non-verbal moment between Teddy and Zach where they sort of squared up to each other and then just sort of
Yeah,
walked
that
away
was
from each
funny.
other. So I feel like it's not forgotten about, but I feel like everybody is sort of almost trying to play it carefully. It's like one of them's got to make the first move, and it's sort of like
Yes,
we're at that
definitely.
moment where we're sort of like whoever that is, that's when war will start again. But until that move gets made, we're sort of at a loggerheads or at a stalemate with one another.
Mm.
So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But Avani, Obviously, she was having all of these trolls kind of going after her. And she had a bit of a moment with Joel this week because she's basically discovered that Joel has been spreading it around that they slept together. And that is why that she's been accused of all sorts on TikTok and on social media. So she delivers to him a swift kick to the groin, and no kick to the groin has been deserved better.
Well, this is where I don't think he did release the footage of Avani. I don't think
No, I
that
don't think.
video's gone out, and I
No,
think it's going to be in revenge to
yeah,
this.
this is why he's going to do it. Yeah, I'm surprised actually. All he really
Yeah.
did, which in itself is kind of weird because actually, I would fully expect any teenage boy. I'm not saying it's right, but I would fully expect any teenage boy to go around to all his mates and say, "Yeah, I slept with this girl last night," and all doing all that shite.
Well, especially
Um,
given Joel's character and the fact that he
yeah,
recorded it. Why did he record it then? Just so he can sit and, well, mind you, he seems like a sex addict, doesn't he, to be fair? So maybe it's just so he can sit
he's
and
a
watch
sex
it.
pest. I know that much for nothing.
Yeah,
And
pest,
his
yeah.
and Tommy's relationship is getting bloody weird. Let me tell you.
I know, but it's Tommy's so desperate for a friend, isn't he? Bless
Yeah,
him. That
and he's now
he's going
discovered
along with it
porn.
all.
Yeah, it's.
And,
I mean,
and you can see he's not even that bothered. He just wants to sit and play video games. It's
yeah.
Joel constantly going on and on.
Well, with everything, we'll talk about the Cat and Alfie stuff in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
But what's I think something that's going to be leading into next week quite dramatically is the fact that Joel comes round and him and Tommy are kind of left on their own because Amy's supposed to be babysitting the twins, but she kind of like realizes that I'm just going to get annoyed here, so I'm going to go. So she left, leaving Tommy and Joel alone. And Joel's first thing is say, "Your dad's credit card here." So cool, we'll buy extreme porn on the internet. Now, for a start, I'm not being funny. You don't need to buy porn.
Oh, right. I was just going to say, Alfie, why are you leaving your bank card at home around
Well,
loads
yeah,
of kids?
that
But
for a
yeah.
start. Yeah, that's how
Well,
you lose money quite quickly. But yeah,
I didn't think they'd bought porn. It looked to me like one of them like chat things. I don't know how they work, but it were like chat with
I
me now.
mean,
So I don't know if they paid to chat to somebody
I
live or something.
I don't know. I thought the implication was because they've got to be so careful about how they frame that at 7:30 on BBC One. I thought
True.
I didn't like
Didn't
particularly look
think
at
of that.
it. I saw lots of blurred images and was just like, right, it's a porn film. I thought basically it was just that they bought
Right.
this porn, and like I say, you don't need to buy porn. I'm sorry, it's out there for free
Or
in
is it a
vast
certain
quantities
type that you have to buy?
unless it's that exactly,
Hmm.
which would suggest that we're looking at slightly more of the extreme look at porn, which would then suggest that the cat has just stumbled across something they're nasty.
Yes. Do you think that, and I feel like Kat's just not gonna, is she just not gonna mention it and be off with Alfie? It was a very odd thing to leave us on for the week, I feel, that Duff Duff.
Well, the implication was that she's found this extreme stuff on Alfie's laptop. I mean, dumb for a start. Has Tommy not got his own laptop? Like, it dumb for a start to sort
Both
of
of them
just
just leave it open
and
on
then just leave it
screen.
on there. A to do it on his laptop at all, and then B to leave it on there
Yeah,
so that the next person that opens it is just going to say, "Oh, a porn film." You know, that
yeah.
was not intelligent. But presumably, this is now going to be the start of them sort of looking at Tommy's behaviour in particular, because I feel like Tommy now has kind of had his mind opened to a very strange dark world, which he's now going to
Unfortunately.
become obsessed with because he's got nothing else to
And
become obsessed with, you know?
so, see, I viewed it as it's going to be a problem for Kat and Alfie, and she's just not going to mention it to Alfie, and she's just going to be really off with him until eventually it does come up. And then, of course, Tommy's not going to say that actually it was Joel who suggested it. He's not going to
Mm.
even mention it had anything
No,
to
of
do
course
with
he won't.
Joel because
No.
he don't want to stop hanging around with him, does he? Because it's
Yeah,
like his only mate.
yeah.
Even though actually Amy were being quite sound with Tommy, so I don't think he's that. I wouldn't have thought he needs mates as desperately as he does, but I don't know. We know how desperate he was before when he was like,
Yes. Yeah,
talking with AI and stuff, and
exactly.
now
So
he's
I
got a
think the
real friendship.
yeah, so I
So
think the implication is after everything that went on with Kat, he's kind of seen as a bit of a nutter. So
yeah.
nobody's really hanging around with him, and Joel's the only one that's giving him the time of day,
Mm.
which sort of means that this world is very susceptible. So we'll see how that all plays out next week because that will very much be the backdrop to what appears to be a wedding. So on to the final storyline of this week. Kat and Alfie are engaged again, kind of. Like really engaged, but fake wedding. I was a bit confused by all this, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit confused, if I'm honest with you. So are they just having the reception next week and not having the ceremony?
It seems that what they're doing is sort of doing a huge sort of reception thing
Yeah,
for this fake magazine. Well, not fake
yeah.
magazine, but they're doing a fake
A
thing.
real magazine.
Yeah, and then Harvey and Kathy, for some reason, are half paying for it because they are half included in the limo business deal.
So basically, they're trying to get a full photo shoot done to show what they can offer for their limo
Yes.
services, which means presumably the limo is going to be in all these shots
Yeah,
somehow. I mean, I would guess that they're having the reception at the Vic, so
of
Kathy and
course.
Harvey, what they're going to pay to have a full actual reception, to just
Mm,
so that they can have these photos, it sounds like.
yeah. So
Madness.
basically, Harvey has is trying to go into business with his mate Cheeky. And
Yeah.
Cheeky is basically retiring from his business as a limo sort of owner, driver, rent
Yeah.
type person. And Cheeky is a bit of a ducker and a diver, and he has the idea of going with Harvey, and then realizes when he's talking to Kat that she's probably quite a good business person to go into as well. So basically, he's trying to play them off against one another, and then ends up getting the best possible deal for himself by them both being involved in the business, and that he gets the most money out of the situation.
Yeah.
Effectively, was what happened.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, Kat had no idea that she was going to end up going into business with Harvey, this silent partner, until she met him, and the deal had all been signed off. So she was kind of stuck there in this deal that she didn't really want to be in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jean comes back this week. Jean and Mo return from their little holiday to go and see Fat Elvis. Mo's sex life has been completely and utterly ruined because of Jean.
Debbie Downer in corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle. And so when Jean discovers that Harvey and Kat are in business together, she takes it really, really well, doesn't she?
Yeah, of course she does.
Brilliantly.
Beautifully. Poor Jean. Poor Jean, though, to be fair. I'm kind of glad that they've brought her back still sad and not just like that she's
Over
over
it.
it, which they do tend to do
Yeah,
when they write
sometimes,
them
yeah.
out that, yeah, but I'm kind of glad that they're still going like, no, she's still devastated by it, bless her.
That said, yes,
Yes.
she doesn't take it well. She slaps Kat. She tells her that she's no longer a Slater. She doesn't deal with it well at all. All
Yeah.
of that said, I actually am quite pleased that Kat then turned around to her when they were sort of in the midst of arguing and said, hang on a minute there, lady. I forgave you for ringing the social on my family and having my
Yeah,
son taken away from me. So do you want to pipe down a second, please? You want
a
to talk about
hundred
forgiveness?
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because as well, in fairness, Kat didn't knowingly go into business with
No.
Harvey. It was a genuine mistake. She's feeling awful about it, and Jean's still going in on her. And then yeah, so Kat is right to say, well,
Yeah.
you basically got my kid took off me.
Yeah, so
So
do you want to shut up a minute?
she did then though say something like, "Oh well, we all felt Harvey. You neglected
Yeah.
him so much. You went to another woman." It's like, "Oh come on, Kat, you didn't
Yeah.
need to say that."
No, she didn't need to say
yeah,
that.
too right. Actually, I do agree. But then I think we're supposed to see that Jean is just still so devastated that you can't reason with her and make her see that she's just seeing, oh look, another form of betrayal again. This time from Kat
Yeah.
rather than actually it was a genuine mistake that they can't get out of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, so this limo business, I mean, I'm not quite sure how this is all going to play out. Presumably, I mean, what I'm thinking is that once the wedding's done, we're never going to hear from this limo business again. I feel like it's one of those setups, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't quite make it out. Or it'll just be like kind of in the background and every so often it'll be, oh, Harvey's out in the limo today,
Yeah,
so he's not
yeah.
here or something like that. Yeah.
You ever been in a
You
limo?
can't just have a limo parked up on the square.
No, it takes time. A square, you would try driving a limo around a square, it'd be impossible. I'm surprised they managed to get it into the square at all. You ever been in a
True.
limo?
Yeah.
Have you? I've never been in a limo.
Do you know what? When I were at school, when we all started turning 16, we all like wanted to do his own like super sweet 16. So we was just like hire a limo to take us to Pizza Hut.
That's an excellent idea.
Oh yeah, that's your dream.
That's
of
my
course.
dream. A limo taking me to Pizza Hut? Yes, please. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
we did that a few times when I were a kid, yeah. Well, when we were 16.
I'm very
They are
jealous.
fun. They
Yeah.
are fun.
Yeah, I do
It
need.
is.
I want. I want one of those that's got a hot tub in it and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Oh God, no, I've not been in one of them. Well, I think that'd be a Hummer that you'd get that. But I
Is
tell
it?
you what, Rob, when it's your next big birthday, I won't say the
No,
age.
do not say the age. Do not say when it is. It's millions of years away yet, but
Maybe
yeah.
we could get a limo to Pizza Hut.
That would be stunning. That would be absolutely amazing. And then act like celebrities. We'll get all glammed up like we did for the Soap Awards to go to
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
We can see if we can get Harvey to drive us there. Why
Yeah,
not?
why not? Absolutely sorted. That's that. That's that done then. That's my 30th all planned. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Um, so meanwhile, Alfie kind of gets the idea that him and Kat. I've got to be honest. I thought his timing was rubbish. Like she literally received her divorce from Phil, and then the next day he's proposing to her.
Yeah, but Chris Clenshaw's leaving soon, Rob. He
I know
needs to get them
he
back
wants the
together.
Cat
He
and
ain't got
Alfie
much
stuff
time,
together.
has he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. Do you know what I mean though? It's just like
Yeah.
Alfie, terrible timing, but Cat doesn't seem to mind too much and says yes.
Were they even a couple? I was confused. I can't even remember if they
They
actually
were
got
back
back
together.
together.
They
They
were
were.
back together,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
because they
I
had a
was
whole
so
thing where
confused.
they had a whole thing where they were fighting with fire extinguishers and everything. And I think the drama with Tommy actually kind of pushed
Yeah.
them back together again. And we said at the time it actually felt quite natural the way that they kind
Yes.
of got back together, but they haven't
Yeah.
really featured Cat and Alfie that much because they've had
Yes.
pubs blowing up and all that sort of mad stuff going on in the background. So they've not had
Yeah.
a huge amount of time in the spotlight recently.
So I guess why not though, really? But also, like, if I were Cat, I'd just be wanting a break from getting married, wouldn't you?
You'd think, yeah. Well, let me be
Yeah.
Cat Slater for a bit.
Yeah. 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 Oh, maybe she will be Slater. Maybe she'll go, do you know what? I don't want to be Moon again. Can't be
Mm,
bothered. I
no,
mean, she'll stay. Nah, she'll not stay Mitchell. But yeah, I know what you
it's not
mean.
Mitchell
She'd
now.
literally just got divorced. Did you have to do it right then? But you know
Yeah.
what? We've got a wedding next week, so why not, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. So they
Madness.
are basically getting married next week. And so what happens is, once they've got all that sort of planned and ready to go, and it's all marvelous and exciting, Kat and Jean have made up by the end of the week, and that's all fine. Kat comes home and opens the laptop and discovers this porn on the laptop. So that's
Yeah.
sort of the leading to next week. So what's going to happen here, I wonder?
Like I say, I think she's going to presume it's Alfie, right?
Yeah,
Because the way that she looked like
it's on
after
his
he'd
laptop.
left, yeah, and his bank card as well.
Yeah,
So she's either going to go fully. I don't feel like she would go fully in though. Otherwise, we've got no suspense of her finding out actually it was
mm,
Tommy. So I feel
yeah,
like she's going to keep it to herself a bit. Maybe she'll confide in Jean, seeing as though they've just made up.
yeah, maybe.
And then eventually, obviously, she'll find out it's Tommy, and then she's going to be like, "What is going on with Tommy?
Mm.
He's going to take the rap." I don't know though. I don't know if all the Joel stuff will play into it all as well. Like, I think he's going to release this video of Avani.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen as well. I think that maybe they're on some sort of website that you can upload videos to.
Could be. Yeah, maybe they're going to try and make money out of it or something.
Yeah. Dear.
Won't be
Yeah.
surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's only just the start of this, isn't it? Because Joel was being very derogatory about Avani at some point this week, so
Oh yeah.
it's not going to take much, I don't think, to start getting Tommy into this frame of mind either.
No, I don't think it will. Or even if Tommy just puts on a front like he believes what
Yeah.
Joel's saying, even if deep down Tommy knows that it's wrong, he'll just back
I
him.
don't I don't think that he'll have that sort of two minds about it. I think Joel will just say it and he'll just
He'll
go along
believe
with
it.
it. Yeah,
Possibly. Oh God.
not
Maybe
good.
it's gonna when will it all come out though? Like the wedding. Well, Tommy's gonna be best man as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Alfie said.
You reckon they're going to make it down the aisle or something going to kick off?
Yeah, because with it being this short of a build up to the wedding, they're gonna make it
Yeah,
down the aisle, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why not?
Just wait and see how it all plays out, but it looks to be very much the start of a very tricky path for Tommy. Go on.
We've not mentioned the hag do that they had.
Yeah, with all the boys dressed up as Cat. I thought they looked
Yeah.
fabulous. Fabulous.
I want to know what Alfie had underneath that blouse that were making it
I
cost.
loved them. I thought they were excellent. If I'm
What
ever in
was it
drag, I
though?
want them to sort. I don't know, but they were sort of like things that were like it looked like they were on a belt or something, and they were just sort of reacting to
Yeah.
his body movement, just sort of
Ah,
juggling up and down.
maybe.
I thought they looked very funny. I have to say, I liked
Yeah.
them. They were good.
I just liked seeing I liked seeing the women in the flowery shirts. I thought that was a good touch.
Yeah,
I mean, it's quite funny though, really, that they all talk about how skint they are on Albert Square, but
I know
last
they
minute
can.
ag do. Yeah, I'll
Oh, they
find
can
some leopard
do.
print
They've
and
always
flowery
got a spare
shirts.
pot for a big old night out in Albert Square, haven't they? The only
That's
thing I
true.
always think about these events, that they'll often do this. They'll have like they had it with Sharon as well. Like everybody was sort of wearing big blonde wigs and dressing up as Sharon.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, do you know anybody in real life that you could actually do that with? That have a that distinctive a fashion that you could dress up as them?
I was just thinking that, but then as I'm thinking it, I'm like, you could easily just get a black curly haired wig and say that you're me. To be fair,
Yeah, and put on the northern accent and sound like Joe
yeah.
McDonald. I could do that, couldn't I? Yeah, I
And
could
with
do
you,
that.
I guess it'd just be like maybe a check shirt and the glasses.
Yeah, mince about a bit. I think you'd be pretty much there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. So,
there you go.
but would you go to those lengths? I don't know.
Mm.
You never
Well,
know.
if I'm
You've got
maybe
Amazon these days, Rob. You can
you
buy out
have
off Amazon
Rob
next
outfit.
day.
Yeah, get them on Amazon. That'd be all right. And then
Yeah.
turn up in my limo to Pizza Hut, all dressed as Rob. That would freak the
Hey,
waiters out. Let me tell you, for that for nothing.
that birthday's sorted.
Sorted like you had no idea. So gold star this week, Ree.
Ooh, it's a tough one this week. You
It
go
is.
first because I'm still trying to think.
Do you know what? I think I might give mine to Cindy. I really enjoyed her this week.
I was thinking that, and then it was all the Lauren and Peter
Yeah.
stuff. Do you know what? I feel like I'm going to give it to Kat just
Okay.
because I feel like she had a tough week, but she didn't give up on Jean, even though
No,
she could have enjoyed her own hag do and her own engagement, but she was still putting Jean first. So I'm going to say
absolutely.
Kat, actually.
Yeah, and she had a good moment with June when she sort of threw it back at her as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we are then. So Cindy and Kat for the gold stars this week. Let us know who your gold star is going to. And we'll finish the podcast as usual with some comments from you. So before we say any comments, we've had another bit of news. Another return has been leaked by you know who. But spoiler siren, spoiler siren, spoiler siren,
Nina,
Anina,
Nina, Nina.
Anina, Anina, because it would appear you ain't my mother. Yes, I am. Zoe Slater's on her way back to Albert Square, apparently. Ooh.
Apparently.
Apparently. I mean, these leaks haven't been wrong yet. So that's exciting. Michelle Ryan apparently returning to the role, which is impressive because normally when Michelle Ryan's asked if she's going to return to EastEnders, she's like, no, not at the moment. I'm very busy.
Never.
Never. But she's coming back apparently. So what do we think about that? When might she return? What mess might she return to?
Well, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would she return? What's she coming back to? You could write anything. She could just be that she's split up with a partner or something and wants to
Mm,
spend some time with her mum. I wonder. They wouldn't though, would they? A part of me was like, you don't think Tommy's going to accidentally come across her video or something online, but I don't see why Zoe would have gone down that route.
I don't know. I do not
I was
know.
just trying to think how she could fit into
Why?
something that
Yeah.
they've got going on because that's his sister, isn't it?
I mean, it's quite mad, really. It feels like every new exec that comes in, they touch on the Cat and Zoe thing, and they'll normally finish it with, "Oh, well, Cat saying, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me," and then that's kind of it. But each exec
Yeah.
sort of kind of deals with that. But if this is a Ben Wadey thing, then it feels like Ben Wadey's actually gone the full hog and has managed to get her back. So
Which is
that's
quite some if he's managed to get back Zoe and Max, because I'm
yeah.
so amazed that Max hasn't been back sooner.
I know, and it feels like Clenners would have tried. I mean, we don't know
Yeah.
how the
No,
crossover. We don't know how it works. Like this could have been in the pipeline for a little while. This
true.
could be the last of Clenners' returns. I don't know. It's kind of tricky to know when there's a
Mm.
producer sort of new one coming in. It's a bit hard to know when one bit ends and the other bit starts. But whoever made it happen, apparently Zoe's on her way back. So we'll see how that plays out when it happens. We don't know when it's going to be happening or if it's even 100% true, but it probably is. So we'll
Well,
see.
I'm the only other thing I'm wondering, could it be because Stacey's gone to stay with Lynn at the minute?
Yes, so
So
maybe
what
that.
if
Yes, maybe.
Zoe's there as well, and
Yeah.
then she's hearing, oh, but I mean, is surely Lily's going to be going back? She's with Ryan.
Mm,
Is Zoe going to say, while Stacey needs her time out,
yeah.
she'll go and help out in the Slater house, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know,
does
something
Zoe
like
come
that.
in as the new Stacey while Lacey Turner's
Yeah,
away? Maybe.
yeah.
Mm. We shall see. Comments, Ree.
I've got a comment here from Renaissance Costume who says, Joel is a problem, but it was nice to get a Denise and Ravi scene after 15 long weeks of nothing. Still no Jack, though. Very strange aftermath from the vote.
Has it really been 15 weeks? That's ridiculous. I mean, if nothing proves our point more. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're getting these crumbs of Ravi and Priya, and I love it, and I think it's brilliant, and I love Ravi and Priya together. But it's so funny that Denise has barely had any screen time whatsoever since this choice was made.
I know, and do you know, like when we've seen them, like on Thursday's episode, it was like they were still pining after each other. So they've made
Yeah.
us make the choice and they're still going to put them together anyway.
I don't know. I mean, I get what you. I agree. It did seem like there was a sort of free shone between them still, doesn't it?
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were very much
Priya
like, oh, well,
glaring
we've
at her.
accepted the decision's been made and we're going to be amicable. It were very much
Yeah.
like, oi, oi.
Miss out over. We'll have to wait and see. Tracy Ricciero says, does no one remember why Lauren started on the pills in the first place? Why is no one going back to the crush and Cindy delaying the escape because of Junior, which caused Lauren's injuries?
Yeah. So not only that, so then she was the reason, and then she carried on feeding
Yeah.
her the pills.
Basically, it's all Cindy's fault.
I agree, and that no one's saying. Oh, you would think maybe Kathy might have piped
Yeah.
up and reminded everybody of that as well this time, I guess.
This time. Yeah, I mean, I think Cindy has pretty much got away with this scot-free at the moment, but we all know that when any of that lot have a axe to grind, the words will be thrown around at some point, I'm sure. But it's just funny that Lauren seems to be the one that's getting it all kind of getting it all in the neck at the minute, and nobody's really turning around to Cindy and going, "You did cause all this, you know. This is
Yeah.
your fault." Mm.
Not that we know it is the drug taking that did cause the blindness,
Not
but
yet.
if
Not yet.
if you're throwing those accusations out, then start at the start.
Absolutely. Right, ladies and gents, that's it for this week. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and all your favourite podcast sites. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yes, you can indeed. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your kind comments on some of the pictures that we posted. We felt sexy too, let me tell you. We really did. I saw one comment that said, "Ree looked stunning. Rob, you look quite decent too." Which thanks, very nice of you. Thank you
Really
very
like
much.
that comment, thank you.
Yeah, I thought you might. But with all the eyebrow gel that you had on, it's no wonder you look so
Rob's
stunning,
only just
really, is it?
discovered breast pumps and eyebrow gel on
What the
today's
hell is
episode.
eyebrow gel? Why do you need what is eyebrow gel? I have much to learn.
Right, can everybody back me up who uses eyebrow gel? Right,
Please.
in the comments, the eyebrow gel is real. It'll also show us how many of you actually listen right until the very end.
Won't it just? Won't it just? All right, we'll be back same time next week. We'll also be doing our Clenners retrospective at some point, so expect to see that over the next week or so. And until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.